The PGL Copenhagen Major might have had what was the most dominant grand final performance that I've ever seen from a team, and so today I'd like to highlight one specific player from Na'Vi in this match versus FaZe, and of course that player is going to be Bit. We're going to look at map 3 and how Bit absolutely obliterated FaZe clan in this third map, and we'll get right into that after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you could trade skins that you already have to get some skins that you might want. That way you can hop into your next game with some fresh new skins. All you have to do is log into the site through Steam, put in the skins that you don't want anymore, grab the skins that you do, and then click trade. Trades happen almost immediately, and any balance that you don't use in the trade will roll over for a trade that you might do in the future. Right now you can get a free $5 if you were to use code Austin on the site, and if you were to use my code you would get an additional 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus. So let's say if you deposit $100, that means you would get $135 if you use my code to deposit. So make sure you guys check out SkinsMonkey, and let's get right back into the video. And I really do mean that this was a dominant game. So we're going to start here by looking at Bit's POV. Of course, Bit is the Halls player / Pit player on the CT side here. And that's really all we're going to have time to look at because it was such a dominant game. And I normally don't cover pistols, but since this is the major final, the most important match of all time for some of these players' careers, we're going to have a look at it. So we're going to see some early themes that will develop throughout the rest of the game, which is Rops versus Bit. Now, the first ever demo review that I did on this channel was in CSGO, and it was a Bit POV on Anubis. And in that game, they were playing FaZe as well. And I remember saying that I thought Bit was the most calculated player that I've ever seen play. And I still think that. So we're going to kind of cover this a little bit today. Now, in that demo review, I was highlighting the fact that Rops versus Bit was a very big point of the map. They both played towards A, and they were just kind of outplaying each other. Cool nades were getting thrown back and forth, a lot of crazy aim duels. And again, we're seeing this in this map because they're going to be playing against each other. Rops is the Halls lurk, Bit's the Halls player, and then on T side, they do the same thing, they flip. Now, if you want to watch that CSGO review after you're done watching this, it's on the top right of your screen. I highly recommend you watch it because you can see how Bit has evolved since CSGO. Now we're here. Going to continue on with the pistol round. The reason I brought all of that up is because FaZe wanted to come A. And what you'll see is Bit is, of course, going to be looking towards Halls. Now, again, common theme is this fight in Halls is very important. Now, when the A hit comes in, typically the guy that's on balcony will focus on the Halls player. Why? Well, that's his job, but more importantly, if he kills the Halls player, who's behind him? Nobody, which means that you can push into Halls and now use Halls as a place to fight from. And since Pit is no longer as good as it used to be in CSGO, in CS2, we're seeing this happen way more often, which is why, again, Bit's playing this angle on pistol round, which looks really bad, and it is, but if he gets the opportunity here to push into Rops, he's 100% going to take it, and of course his teammate is fighting with him. They both know the importance of this. Now look, Bit can just hold. The Raps coming in, he gets gush, but he has a really good place to live. He just lives. Think about it. If you're on T side right now, let's actually just switch to Brokey's POV. If you're on T side here and you know there's a guy in Halls, you're like, I don't know where to go. I feel really suffocated. Well, you do, because you can go Halls. He can come from Boiler. We don't know if they're flanking mid. Now, we do have somebody Arch, but again, this person's probably feeling even worse because now they can come from mid and nobody can really stop that. Of course, they can come from Library. They can come from Arch. It's not looking good for them, is it? They're really feeling suffocated, and the reason that is because Bit just plays his life as well as his teammate. But even though this is pistol round, I'm highlighting this because he's going to do it in the gun rounds later on, and I don't have as much time to yap because this game was a pretty dominant. And as you can see, Ema goes down. Bit chooses to live. He still lives, even though they know he's here. Brokey's looking for him. He's like, he would never. Why is he hiding bedroom? Why? Because the pressure has built up. Brokey looks like an idiot. Probably people are typing, Brokey noob, bot, kick Brokey. No. Think about it. If Bit is still trying to win the round after Ema dies, wouldn't you think that he would be over here trying to fight Kerrigan? 100%. 100%, which is why after Brokey gets that kill, he just runs. But Bit knows. He knows the pressure. It's map 3. It's map 3 of the major final. Need I remind you, every player's dream is to win a major. And even though everybody on FaZe, apart from Frozen, has won a major before, it doesn't matter. They still want another one. And that pressure is building. So Bit, calm, collected, and calculated, more importantly, is going to be sitting in bedroom waiting for Brokey because he knows what's his play. He doesn't have a play. Let's rewind it. Watch it again. After this kill, instead of fighting, Bit knows. He's like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to hide. Brokey has to come back. He can't fight from lane. That spot sucks. Boom. There you go. It was a messy kill, but the point still stands. And now look at this. Just by playing his life and living, we are seeing Bit win the pistol round almost single-handedly. And Ema as well helps him win that. JL, of course, gets 2 kills. Get Chad JL. We did the JL demo review as well. You can check it out top right yesterday. One of my favorite demo reviews I've ever done. Highly recommend you look at that after this game as well. Moving on, Bit. One of my favorite players to watch on Inferno in particular is going to start the round by playing lane. Now, Bit is the Halls player, and I just did an entire yap session to explain this. So why is he starting lane? Well, that's because on Inferno, what'll happen a lot of times is teams like to start 3B to take banana control these days. I mean, they always did, even in CSGO, but in CS2 especially, it's just kind of the meta. Or what you might see sometimes is sometimes the A player will actually just start towards B, drop his nades over, and then rotate back. But of course, we don't see that happen in this particular round. Instead, JL actually just starts towards B because of course they want to do 3 down to take B. And of course, this is just very meta in this game. And of course, FaZe know that, so they're going to play around it. And what do we see? We're going to see some pressure in towards B. Obviously, 2 rifles spamming down. Frozen takes a shot. Now, there is some possibility that FaZe know that there's 3 towards B. So off the back of Ema's death, you know what they're thinking? They're thinking, you know, there's only 2 people A. They have to be playing site, right? I mean, think about it from FaZe's perspective, okay? I mean, I'm not even just trying to fill in the gaps and cope because I am a FaZe fan, but shouldn't they be playing site? I mean, seriously, think like if you have 2 people here holding bracket, who's holding holes? Nobody. So you would expect them to be in a pit site setup. That's what you would just expect because that's just normally what happened. The rotate comes in, holds arch, and we can hold a lane in balcony, right? No. One step ahead. Navi's like, yeah, that's what you expect. So then they look silly. Look at them. They're running up here. They would never expect Bit here, and they would especially never expect Wonderful. And so 2 people. And now here's the rotate from JL. They just lose. And FaZe looks silly. They look silly because they're running. They're running. They don't expect them there. And you're thinking, well, why wouldn't you expect them there? They're A players. Because you don't understand. The reason they don't expect them is because it actually doesn't make that much sense if you think about it. Which is why Navi do it. They leave halls. Super big question mark. Nobody knows. Rops is known for going through halls. He is a halls lurk. Big question mark. Navi says, no. It's map 3 of the major final. Rops won't make a play like that. He won't. And he didn't. And they were right. So they gamble stacked bracket with 2 and they won. Wow. And the ramifications for this round. Look at the economy for the boys. They have nothing. No armor, no upgraded weaponry. And of course, Navi know that. So what does Bit and Alexi B buy? MP9s. We all know MP9s give a bigger kill reward and also are just insane at dealing with ecos. So that's what we're going to pick up. An MP9 picked up for the Navi guys, and they're just going to try to get some kills. Nothing really too crazy. Bit throws a nade in towards alt mid, trying to get a little damage done, kind of feel him out. Something that you might not know, and something I'm surprised I haven't mentioned so far at all in the demo review series, is it goes a little bit farther. That nade, it's never going to kill anybody, and it's never going to do damage that's important enough to talk about. But what it does do is it does something that most people don't think about. What you don't know is that players keep track of this thing right here, this UD counter, utility damage. So at the beginning of the round, Bit checks 11 damage. Okay. And then this round, he throws a nade, and that nade lands alt mid. Now, the beginning of next round, he's going to check again, and he's going to see what it says. And if that number went higher, he's going to know that nade hit somebody. It's like wall hacks, but in hindsight. And the reason that that's important is because when you're playing against Rops, knowing the route that he wants to take into halls is very important because it helps you decide where you want to play later on. Keep that in mind going forward. Now, smoke is thrown. Rops disrespects it. He's just on a pistol. It's fair. Bit doesn't actually expect it this time. Remember last round when I said that he wouldn't expect Rops to make a play like that in the major final? Well, Rops also wants to make those plays because it's the major final. Every player has come into this game with this in mind. They're like, we can't play scared. We cannot play scared. Just a regular game, you know? And so Rops takes these risks because he didn't do it last round, and now he knows he needs to do that. So Bit gets caught off guard, and he goes down. Now, I'm not going to watch the rest of the round, but Navi will clutch it up as you see here. Now, that's a good round for FaZe. Their economy is up, bomb is down, they got a couple of kills, things are starting to feel a little bit better. However, they're not finished yet. They still have to win the round. Even though they've set themselves up, they still have to do the hard part, which is winning the round. Now, as we're watching this boost, let's reflect and see. Did Bit get any utility damage? No. So, what does that mean? That means a Bit knows that Rops didn't go up halls last round, except he's wrong because Rops was faster. He actually did go up through the jump up balcony last round, but he doesn't know that. That's what Bit thinks. So, because of that, now Bit is thinking he must have went up the stairs last round. Now, he's wrong, but it'll have an important, important reaction later that will actually win them around, and we'll cover that when it's time. So, of course, let's rewind a little bit here and look at this boost. So, it's a boost that everybody used to do in CSGO. Of course, Bit's gonna jump across, whee, and then he's gonna crouch here and he's gonna boost up Wonderful. Now, I could show you this in first person, but I'd rather show you it this way because then Wonderful can peek over mid and then Bit blows the smoke for him to peek towards T-steps. Wow, what a beautiful team play. You don't need to see the lineup. It's literally just left click while throwing at the smoke. And now Bit will back up into sight again. Oh no. Again, there is only 2 people towards the A site. Like we've said before, this is very common to start 3B with 2 people towards A. Now they've shifted into back site. Remember the previous time I said it doesn't make sense for the 2 players to play bracket. And this round, they don't, because it doesn't make sense. This is what FaZe were expecting to happen the other round where they look silly, but this is what happens this round. And so Bit's holding halls. Remember, responsibility as the halls player. You can play wherever you want, but you have to be holding halls. There you go. Wonderful's going to be opping mid, gets flashed off, decides to back up. And because of that, Bit is going to have to back up to pick a different angle. Now, Molotov for halls, smoke is in. Rops is shut out of the round. And because halls is now smoked and Rops can't help, Bit wants to punish the fact that Rops can't peek from balcony. Gonna peek towards mid here. Pit is mollied. He's in the open, looking for a kill, and he will punish Rain. To be fair, Rain doesn't expect him to be in front of Pit, given the fact that Pit is quite literally mollied. He doesn't expect him to be standing right here. I understand that. Good play from Bit. Continuing on, he's shifted into this mini pit position. Very common spot right here, off angle. If anybody walks out halls, they are pretty much as good as done for because you're not going to be able to clear that and sight. So, really strong angle. And he just waits. He doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need to do anything. And he just waits. And the round will slowly fall away. Okay, timeout for FaZe. Starting to get a little nervous, but you know what? It's Kerrigan. He's always good for those calls. And so off of that, he's going to calm the boys down and we're going to try to come back into this game. Bit's going to start towards lane. And what do we see? Again, more of the same. He does a little jump spot there, tries to bait out a shot, doesn't do that, throws a nade. Wait. Here we go again. Another nade here. Why? More important than doing damage. It's info. It's very much info. Keep that in mind. No damage done. He knows that. I don't need to show you. He knows. He's going to back up. There's 3 people here. Now, this is unlike what we've seen so far from Navi. Previously, they've fallen off onto site when they have 2 people here. Now they have 3 and Banana. They're pretty much set up to win this round. At least now, if FaZe were to execute, Navi would probably win. So they need to do some more. They need to take back Banana. They need to push them back. That way they can pretty much say, yeah, there's 3 here. Now we can go B. Or, oh, there's 1 guy arch. We can hit A. You know, there's a lot of things that go into this. Inferno has a lot of depth. So, of course, the Kerrigan knows this. FaZe knows this. And we're waiting. Okay. Moment of silence in the server. Take a breath. Now we're jiggling. This is new to CS2. This isn't really a play that was done in Go, obviously just jiggling. If spotting somebody, he's going to smoke the molly and pit more than likely, or he might throw a lurk smoke for himself to play with, or if he doesn't see anything, he of course will smoke halls. This is the new best way to handle Inferno A side, is to smoke halls all the time, because again, that's, you know, the real only issue you have. Lane's hard to come through, arch is even harder these days, and so that's like your main issue, is just as long as we don't die from halls, we're good. All right, now, it's important to note here, is after all of the stuff is thrown, arch smoke is thrown, flash, they fake took bracket rather, Bit smokes halls and walks back up. Okay, now what does that really mean? In the grand scheme of things, it's like, oh yeah, cool, he just picked a different spot. No, no. He didn't just pick a different spot. What happened is, FaZe are pretending to be in bracket. Now they call this bracket because if you look here, kind of looks like a little bracket. So FaZe are pretending to be here. And Bit just walked in and said, they're not here. Oh. And the time, 40 seconds on the clock. Oh. So Wonderful rotates immediately off of this info. Now Bit made this play by himself. Now Wonderful's rotating B. Okay, that's whatever. Surely FaZe know that, right? Surely FaZe can account for this. Surely they can account for this. No? Because how do you know? Of course they don't know. Now, Kerrigan will throw another arch smoke and fake as if they're ending A, but Bit already knows he's one step ahead. Plus, what just happened? What just happened in the kill feed, more importantly? Well, sure, a team kill, but who did it? It's a game of murder. Who did it? It was Rops with the AK in the back of the head and the bottom of Banana. But wait, Rops is the Halls player. Oh, exactly. Rops is the Halls player. It's B. 100%. Yes, Kerrigan is here doing what Rops would normally do, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, the round is basically over. 2v4, Bit's rotating. But even though Rops is dead, he's thinking in the back of his head, who threw the arch smoke? Interesting. So Bit is still aware because somebody threw arch, but if Rops was Banana, that means that Kerrigan must have done a funny. Oh my God, did he ever? And there you have it. Another round for Na'Vi. Now, that round was kind of weak from FaZe, I won't lie. But things haven't been that bad. It's a 5-0 scoreline, but it's acceptable. You know, it's one of those where it's like, yeah, we're down 5-0. We made one bad round, pretty much. That was about it. We lost pistol. Unlucky so far, boys. Let's win this half by. Let's win the next round. We'll tie up this half. You know, we're going to bounce back. Well, either way, here we go. We go on to round number 6. It's going to be a half buy, and Bit's going to start in towards lane. Of course, everything is the same. We do get exactly what I talked about earlier, which is this time, of course, Mr. JL will drop his nades over towards B and then rotate back. Now, actually, he just leaves the flash. Of course, the flash is nice to have in case he needs to flash bracket or lane or whatever. And off the back of this, we see the molly. We see Bit having a little bit of a look. And what are we going to see? We're going to check his UD again just for fun. He sees... Well, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Sorry. He sees 11 still. So he knows that Rops hasn't gone in halls. He thinks from earlier he didn't jump up here. So he's thinking, where do I find him? I'm going to save that nade for deep halls again. This time, surely. But no, of course, Rops is doing his job, staying away from the damage and then just taking halls late. There's nothing that says you have to do it right away. Now, here we go. Something that I think is kind of fun about New Inferno is the fact, and this always happened, maybe even in just Inferno in general, is, well... Banana control taken for the CTs means that you're allowed to play 4A because, well, by the time that FaZe would retake Banana, they would have to throw a lot of utility, wait out potential Molotovs, and that time while they're waiting out the utility gives Ema time to rotate back. All right, cool. That's not out of the ordinary. And nothing out of the ordinary, actually. Just the setup in general is that JL normally is the extra rifler, but he's going to be playing on balcony. And the reason why this is such a good position is because let's say that FaZe want to come A and Bit were to fight or get a kill from Pit in whichever way, they're going to be like, oh, Pit, he's the Pit player. No, that makes sense. Halls is probably clear. Oh, JL's playing up there. And that's okay because this is just a little bait setup. It works for one round. And on a round like this, 5-0, you need that one round just to make sure that they don't get any momentum back. It makes sense to go for a play like this. It's not like a play that you can get away with every round, but having JL up here is definitely a surprise factor, and it's I want to say as close to a guaranteed hold as you can get, but of course things can always go wrong. And obviously, Wonderful holding here. The rotation from B is here. They have bracket. They have halls. If FaZe go A, they're going to lose. That's just the setup that they've picked is if FaZe go A, they lose. Fantastic. So here they go B. Wow, look at that. They picked correct. All right. And unfortunately for FaZe, this is actually the beginning of the end because this is the reason why we're highlighting Bit's demo today instead of anybody else's, because Bit starts to do some funny things. And we're going to start off here by, of course, the rotations coming in, and he finds Frozen New Box. Very good lineup for you. If you want to take that, you should probably steal it from Mr. Bit for, of course, somebody resmoking CT. And he's going to clear it out. And wait. Here comes the nade. Wonderful. That was a perfect CT nade for Bit, and he catches Brokey. Oh, a headshot as well. Clean, crisp headshot onto Brokey jumping new box. And he's going to peek out as well. Oh my goodness. He had 2 bullets in the clip, and somehow he catches Rain. Was it a pre-fire? Was it an insane peek? But did he even see him? I'm not sure. But he knew Rain was there. Rain was reloading. This column came in, so Bit just pre-fired. He said, you know what? I only have a millisecond left on this smoke. I'm going to peek, see if I see him. I'm going to shoot no matter what. And he got him. Oh, no. The 4v4 retake and Bit's found 3. What do you even do about that? Oh, my God. He comes through the smoke after Rops is baited to peek out onto JL. This is not a mistake. JL runs through jumping because he wants to bait Rops to peek to catch him while he's jumping. And while Rops is shooting, Bit comes through the smoke and he gets the 4K. Wow. What? One man. 4 players. There's nothing you can do about that. FaZe didn't make mistakes. You have to understand. Frozen re-smoke CT. He has to do that. Brokey, they were double dark. Rain and Brokey, they can't just stay double dark. He has to go new box. He doesn't have a choice. The nade gets thrown at the perfect time to catch him. Rain didn't even do anything. He's just waiting, and Bit just insta-kills him. Rops, he didn't make a mistake either. He was in a 1v4. What are you supposed to do? Oh my God, it's dominant. It's actually dominant. Okay, you know what? Actually, you know what? Take a breath here, boys. We couldn't do anything about that. Let's tie this game up 6-6. That's what Kerrigan said. You know what? We're going to tie this game 6-6. I have a feeling. All right. Here you go. Most important game of your career. And Bit's going to start in halls yet again. Of course, the gimmick setup not spotted. Important to note. Now, this is where we're going to see the repercussions of the nade from earlier. Now, because Bit is now under the assumption that Rops has not started here or here at all, what does he calm over to his teammates? You know, Rops isn't starting in halls. He's starting far back, and he knows this. Think about it. The nades that he's been throwing, what, has he gotten any utility damage since I pointed it out? No. And so he knows Rops has not been playing up. He's not been getting hit by my nades. Now, again, he did miss the one, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. So because he says this, and he did die one time to Rops early, but that's different. That was an eco. So he says he's not starting halls, which means we could play a hall setup, and when he comes in late round, we'll catch him off guard. Oh, man. And so there we have it. Now, this setup is one of my favorites of all time. Wonderful is posted on the stairs, and of course, Bit is in an off angle. And so if Rops peeks out, he might see Wonderful. He might see his gun. This is exactly how it's supposed to be. And he's going to step out, and Bit's going to kill him. Or Rops is going to clear boiler and die. That's the only options. So back to Bit. Rops ends up jumping in. It's perfect. The setup is looking like it's coming all together now. There's not much to say. Rops, you've been outplayed, sir. Is he going to check it, though? That's the question. He's aware of the possibility, but he checks boiler, just like I said. And there it is. All of this entire game has led up to this one moment. Because Rops has been playing far back, and because the utility that Bit has been throwing, Bit knows that they can get away with a hall setup. And he's right. He calls this. This is not an Alexi B call. This is a Bit call. You have to understand. This is his area of the map. If a setup happens here, it's because he wants it. And he gets the second kill. Kerrigan swings out, knows that he has to find something. The Molotov Bit throws after, separates Kerrigan from his teammates. Now, he's gotten 2, and he knows that he needs to stay alive. Why would Bit go for more? He doesn't need to. So he drops the nade, and he knows that they're probably going to take bracket. And off of the back of this, Wonderful is falling back. Ema is pushing. He doesn't see anything, and he says, I'm just going to play my life too. And now Bit is in a really good position. And because of that, he's going to step out, finds Frozen, and hits the spray transfer to Rain. First bullet. Oh, man. A 4K out of absolutely nowhere. And it's all off the back of the info that the nades gave him. Do you understand? I'm not overanalyzing. This is how Pro CS is. The nades that he threw allows this hold setup, allows for this 4K. All of it comes together. A seemingly unimportant nade thrown on an eco and 2 nades that land deep. What does it tell Bit? It tells Bit he's not playing halls. We can play a setup and we're going to win a round. And look at that, a 4K. One of the best clips that I've ever seen. Granted, it's a major final. That 4K is worth its weight in gold. Literally, one of the most insane moments I've ever seen. And the round is just over. Nothing you could do. Okay. Things are starting to get out of hand, but are FaZe making mistakes? That's the important question. Is this an example of a FaZe choke, or is this an example of Na'Vi dominance? Well, you tell me. Did FaZe make a mistake that round? They go for Halls. Rops dies. Yes, he 50-50s. He clears Boiler. He loses. Okay, unlucky. Then they try to go and they try to kill Bit. Bit hits a kill, separates him with the molly, steps out, gets 2. Okay, I guess they could have just shot him, but other than that, realistically, they weren't in bad positions. They were getting outplayed by one guy, just like on the post plant I highlighted just a few minutes ago. Bit, he just destroyed them. This round, he just destroyed them again. Okay, that's 2 rounds that Bit has single-handedly won for Na'Vi, and did FaZe make a mistake? No! Not really. Not one that should warrant 2 4Ks. Not one that should warrant them being down 7-0. Okay, I'm not really sure. Let's get back into this. Okay, so Bit is going to be on round number 8 here. He's got the AK. Of course he does. Headshot Prince, as I'm told he's called. And he's going to continue on. Going towards lane. Starting 2A yet again. We already talked about why this is a good idea. He's going to start in towards Halls. Now, remember, because of the last round, it's probably not a good idea for him to play there again. Throws the nade because he wants to check. Is Rob's going to switch up his game? This nade, it's more important than just doing damage. It's a mind game. It's a way of keeping track of what Robs is doing. Because after this round, no matter what happens, he's going to check his UD. What does it say? Let's see. Okay, he had to check it before this round because he got some damage with the molly last round and the nade. Okay, 97. So, is Robs going to switch up how he's playing based on the fact that last round he got dominated? Is he going to go in Halls fast? Yes, he actually does. Because look, he's there. So, Rops does switch, and Bit's checking. Did he go this way early? Well, next round he's going to find out that he didn't. So he's going to assume if Rops is fast Halls that he went this way. That'll be important for later. All right, make sure you keep track because Bit's keeping track. You should keep track. Don't forget. That's important. If you want to be good, you have to keep track. They're keeping track. All right, Halls, he knows. Big question mark. Like we said earlier, because he didn't check, he could be up this way. Could have hit. He will know later, but he could have got hit by the nade. Until next round, he won't know. So right now it's a question mark. That's what he sees. That's Bit's head right now. Question mark in Halls. He doesn't know. So he mollies. Backs up and he mollies. Okay, he's buying time. He's buying time for the rotations. Because think about it. As far as Bit's concerned, there could be 4 people in Halls getting ready to get flashed out through this mid smoke. That could be possible. In Inferno, that happens a lot. The reason this molly is thrown, it's not panic. It's because it's a question mark. He doesn't know what's there. Molly is thrown. Now, off the back of that molly, he's going to jump back up. He's going to smoke him. If FaZe were in Halls, like I just said they could be, this would be devastating. And he knows that. He knows it's a question mark. If Rops wants to go for a hero play, he's now smoked off, mollied off, and potentially naded. And he knows that. Okay, even though Bit is quite literally fighting a ghost right now, the point isn't what he's doing this round and who's actually there. It's who could be there. And that's why it's important to note this. All right, and he's bought time for rotations. Okay. Now, 4A, 1B, again, the same thing we talked about before. They have time to buy the rotations over if and only if FaZe throw utility. If they molly corner, molly sandbags, that's typically enough time for somebody to rotate before the mollies go away. Let's have a look on the radar. Bit is not going to be doing anything too important in the meantime. So, what do we see? FaZe, they don't have enough utility to throw to take top banana. They don't have it. So what do? They're going to actually just contact up. They're contacting up, and oh man, they don't need to throw anything. JL is feeling the pressure. He's staying, and look, he even calls off the rotation. He says, Alexi B, you don't have to be here. Wait a minute, the execute's coming in. They didn't throw any retake utility. They know how important that is. There's no secret that Kerrigan knew that they couldn't do that. There was a chance that there was 4A, and JL actually gets a spam kill. And more importantly, he almost gets a second. I remember watching in the stadium, I was getting very nervous at this point. But either way, they're coming in. They are absolutely trapped on an island. 4v5, though, it is the most winnable post plant in all of Counter-Strike on B site. And here we have it. We're coming in. Retake is in. Molly towards a new box. Going to make sure that the spacing is good. You will note that nobody is going in before their teammates. Something that you should learn if you're a pugger. Make sure you wait for your teammates. Look at how grouped up they are. All right. Here we go. Bit, of course, baiting the IGL Alexi B. Not because he wants to, but because Alexi B is probably screaming, bait me, bait me, bait me. Why? Because if you're Alexi B and you have literally the best aimer in the world following you up, that's probably a good thing. So, coming in, Brokey gets the first kill. There he goes. Steps out. Hits the second. All of a sudden, Bit again. Monstrous. Another 1 round. Single-handedly by the man himself. And so, We don't know if he's backside. Wait, do we know where he is? Did he get a kill? No. Frozen. Unknown. 5 HP. Should be over. No way in the world they lose this. Bit. Pre-firing. Wants to win. Oh, Frozen reveals himself. Fantastic. Stepping back. Okay, the kill. JL. I trust JL. JL's the best rifler on my team. He's the best rifler in the world, more than likely at this point. You can kill him. He's got 5 HP. There's no world that you lose the... Oh. And a heroic 1v3 from Frozen will cement the first round for FaZe. It's looking bleak. It took a 5 HP 1v3 to get the first round. Regardless, very nice attempt. And we play on. We continue. Next round. Money is fine. FaZe have almost nothing. They call a timeout on Na'Vi to just say, you know what? It's fine. Unlucky. We're still winning. We're still winning. All right. Next round. Next time. Bit goes a little aggressive. Remember, he checks the UD. Did you forget in all of that chaos? Because he didn't. They call that timeout, and while he's sitting there in freeze time, he's doing this probably. Check in. 1 damage. Not sure how that could have happened. Could have been from the molly. Doesn't matter. So, because he's keeping track, no nade damage here. Molly didn't do any nade damage. Good chance that Rops was playing here last round. So I'm going to nade it. Well, he was, but this round, here you have it. He's on the other side, avoiding all the nade damage. Again, Rops, he's so smart. You know, it looks silly from Bit's perspective, but Rops knows what he's doing. This actually is such a fun battle to watch. Rops versus Bit, because they're both so smart. Rops, of course, is avoiding all the nade damage like you would hope he does. He's one of the smartest players in the world, too. So, even though Bit's not actually hitting anybody, if he was playing you right now, I promise you Bit would have 1,000 utility damage, because he would if he was playing me. All right. By the way, another thing that's important to note is even though he's not actually getting early nade damage and he's not getting info, he actually is getting info, because by now he's starting to paint the picture in his mind that Rops is still playing farther out, even this late now. So remember, because before of that, they played the hull setup. Now Bit's probably starting to think in his head, might be able to do another one later. We'll keep track of that. Okay. Early pressure towards B. Kerrigan goes down. We know it's an early round. This is one of my favorite ones as well. The way Bit's playing, he's holding a pixel. If he were to see somebody, he drops the molly. Rops can't kill him. It's a pixel angle. He will probably take some damage, but he won't die. Not a lot to really say here. Of course, we're just kind of letting the round play as it's going. This is a B hold, not an A hold. Doesn't really need to do anything. He just backs up to pit. If Rops, because Rops not spotted, by the way, were to try to lurk out halls and all this chaos happening over on this side of the map, Bit's responsible for that. Wonderful, of course, holding Boiler. Ema is just kind of here. He could rotate. It doesn't really make a difference at this point. Hit comes in. Can kind of switch over. Of course, remember, until Rops is spotted, Bit is still going to be looking. On this side of the map, there is nothing good going on. I'm not really quite sure how to explain it. Just now that we know what's happening over towards B, let's take a look back from Bit's POV as this hit comes in, like we just talked about. Now, Bit, until Rops is spotted in the kill feed, is going to be looking towards halls, like I just said. And so here we go. Rops is going to go down any second. There he goes. He's dead. And so knife out. Now we're not worried. All right, cool. Retake is coming in. Brokey push. It's a, what is this, a 3v2? Things are looking kind of rough. Bit. Remember, let's paint the picture. Bit so far on B retakes has been insane. He's got a 4K, a 2K in a round. They didn't win. He's feeling himself. He's going to be creeping up here. He's ready to do it again. He has a nade from Wonderful. Everything's coming together. Maybe I'll molly Nubox. And then Wonderful will nade and we'll catch the guy Nubox again. It's all looking great. Smoke's fading. Here we go. Molly pulled out. This is the round right here. Molly towards pit, I can only assume. Flash over. Psh, psh, it's easy for Bit. Nothing in the world could stop him at this. Well, you know, sometimes it happens. The only thing that could stop Bit was his own teammate. And, not much you could say. It happens. It looks silly, but Rain crossed at the exact same frame that Bit walked in front. Not a fun round to die like, not a fun way to die, I should say. Not a fun round to lose. Here we go. Next round. Starting 3B. dropping the nades and rotating back over, just like I mentioned before. He starts in towards lane. Of course, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this yet, but the reason he starts there is because if they do fast bracket, he needs to be there to deny it with his utility, i.e. Molly, maybe a smoke. That's why he starts there instead of here, because then that would leave Wonderful on an island, and he would be potentially 1v Tech 9 rush, and we don't want that. So he starts here until Ema gets back, and once Ema's back, then he goes back to halls. Remember, if they rush halls, he'll hear them, and he's also here so he can hear them, like I said, and he'll be in a good position to deal with it. If they walk halls late, by the time he jumps up here with his molly, holding this pixel, you can see I'm 4-3. It's way easier to see on 4-3. If anybody crosses this, he throws the molly here. They cannot come out. JL gets the kill under Frozen. Now, Frozen is the solo banana player, just like we've always talked about in T-side nuke and outside. Demo review if you'd like, top right for Rain. I think that they have an idea that it's likely to be A. Now, we haven't seen this from Bit so far, but he's playing right here. And why? Well, the reason I can't move. Okay, the reason he's playing here is because he hasn't played halls, but more importantly, it's not just the spot, it's actually the team play. Ema's holding for him as well, because if somebody like Rops were to get a little curious and he peeks, at the same frame he peeks Bit, he's also peeking Ema, and so he will die no matter what. Now, off of the back of bracket getting taken, Ema whips out a flash, because the other thing that's really good about this spot is that Ema can actually flash into halls for Bit. So, if Rops was here, he would be full blind and Bit would get the kill. Now, he's not there, and they know that now. So, what is Bit gonna do? He's gonna pull out his, well, he was gonna pull out his utility, but there we go. Pull out his molly, and he's ready to react. And this is the round, by the way, where they've just faked, hold on, I gotta clear the radar. I love the CS2 demo viewer, man. It's good and bad at the same time. Now, the reason I mentioned the fact that he pulls out his utility is because if he doesn't see anything halls, he's assuming majority lane, or maybe they're going to wrap arch, so he's going to molly lane, he's going to help them, but they don't see anybody. And Wonderful doesn't see anyone either. Now, we've done a Wonderful demo review, and I could just continue linking top right, top right, top right, but you can find that one on your own. And what do we see? Wonderful regressing with the op. He's not afraid. He's, again, Simple's replacement. Why would he be afraid? So, Bit holding halls, and Wonderful has taken this area back. Remember, like I said earlier, when Bit did this, I said it's important because not only did he just pick a spot, he also cleared all of bracket. Look at, it's looking like a potential rotate back to B because it's 50 seconds and they don't have this. If they come A, they're going to lose, so they have to know that. So they're probably going B, right? Unfortunately not. And we've switched over to a Wonderful review for this round because Wonderful hits a crazy shot and now he knows that he is in the lead. Remember that molly that Bit saved? Here it comes. He drops it into lane, which actually gives Wonderful a little bit of room. Now, the smoke and the molly pretty much just makes the round over before it could even start. They're forced to go towards arch. Back to Bit. As you see, he has not moved pit because Rops not spotted. Why is Bit still holding halls? Oh my god, I'm gonna fall asleep because Rops is alive. He's the guy. He's the guy that will always be there. And keeping track of who plays where is more important than you could ever understand in the pro game. All right. Another round. This one's starting to fizzle out on FaZe. Those 2 rounds looking a little rough now. All right, starting under Balk. Knife out. Listening. Didn't hear anything. Backing up. Rotates on his way. Backing up. 2 site. They have banana uncontested, looking like it could be an A-pop. They know it's a half buy. A-pop likely. Playing anti-flash. Why is Bit playing anti? Or why is he like this? Because flashes over halls would blind him, because they'd pop here. If he's looking to the right, they will not. All right, great. Jiggling, like we saw before. Same thing as before. Molly, molly, molly. If we see anybody, we throw it. Okay. We bought time, rotates here. Mollying lane off of the back of the utility. They cannot come here. They have to go arch. Kerrigan goes down, Rain gets a kill. All right, now we flash lane to delay, and we smoke halls because that Rops guy, we don't want to deal with him. All right, we're in a little bit of trouble. So, as we focus on halls, because we're Bit this round, we're going to switch back to Wonderful because he's doing the same thing. Off the pressure arch, you cannot really play site. Because if you're an opera and you're playing site, where are you going to look? You can't look lane, you can't look moto at the same time. So instead, he pushes lane because he only has one thing to look at. They could be running in through moto as much as they want. They could be coming here, but they can't see him lane. They cannot see him. So he has time to go for this. It's potentially a 1v1 if he could find Rops or whoever holding lane, which he will. But before that, let's talk about this. Because Bit, while Halls is smoked, because that's the meta, he could actually peek and fight Moto to buy time for Wonderful to make this play. And in the meantime, if somebody does come out Halls, they're gonna, of course, have to go through the smoke, and there's a chance that Bit could be holding. It's not an easy situation to be in. And so Wonderful goes for the reaggress. Here we go. We're watching him again. He doesn't want to go too early. Important to note, small detail. FaZe are aware. And another thing, Shadow does actually show here. Gotta be careful on that. Okay, Rops peeking out here. Sees his Shadow. Tries to bait the shot. He can't do it. Wonderful hits it. And again, Bit clears Moto, just like I said. Now, Wonderful still not over pushing. Doesn't want to go too far, too fast. This round can easily be lost. If Wonderful dies, Bit is alone, 1v3, and I know it's Bit, but it's a major final. I think it's easy to forget that while watching his demo review, but they're the major final. Looking out and they see thousands of people again, and Wonderful is locked into his crosshair, pushing lane. Brokey just waits for his teammates, but oh no! What's going on, boys? We're waiting for rotations, we're waiting for banana push, we're waiting for CT rotate, but in the meantime, you forgot that he could keep going. Brokey's an opper too. He knows this is possible. He's waiting for it, but he's not faster. Wonderful hits an absolutely insane shot. And in the meantime, what's Bit doing? He's still holding holes. Because, remember, I was going in slow motion. That all happened so fast. Let's rewind it. Rops gets the kill, and off the back of Rops' death, Bit clears, doesn't see anything, and he waits. Brokey dies. Now he knows that nobody's probably coming halls anymore. So because of that, he can freely look towards the Moto, spots Rain, the kill frozen, and now it's just it. This was a perfect round, a perfect A-hold. What can FaZe do? I mean, I'm serious. It looks silly. You might think FaZe are throwing, but really, what can they do? Rops tries to bait out Wonderful. He sees his Shadow. He tries to bait the jiggle. Wonderful hits it. Brokey waits for his teammates because they're now separated. Wonderful just keeps pushing. Gets the kill. Alright, all of a sudden they're in trouble. They were in the perfect position. Rain waits. We wait. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Applying pressure to force a rotate. But Na'Vi didn't care. They did not crumble under the pressure. They felt it, but they didn't crumble. They just played it very calm, very collected, and some would say calculated, as I've mentioned before. Another beautiful round for the boys at Na'Vi. It's looking dominating. It's looking worse than that, actually. I would say this is looking like probably the most dominant I've ever seen a team. Think about the semifinal we just watched the other day. Dominant. Think about the grand final now, looking the same. Now remember, they've already played 2 maps, and both of them are one-sided. FaZe has already won a map in this, so it's easy to forget that while watching just one of the maps. But, alas, we keep going. Money. They know they have to buy, so it's a gun round in their head no matter what. They commit towards 3B. Eventually, they shift back into 2. Remember earlier I said it would be silly if they played double bracket, because it was in FaZe's mind, but it was a good play. Now, this time, they got away with it once. They probably won't get away with it again. So they fall back to site. Bit throws his utility to deny halls because he's been doing this the entire game. And the reason is you deny halls, buy time for rotation. No rotations coming though. But that's not an oversight from Na'Vi. That's because they want to stay 3B. They're setting up for this banana control. This is the plan. Rops has not been aggressive halls this entire game, except for one round on a Tech 9. So, it's pretty safe to assume that they probably won't be coming fast A. That's what Na'Vi thinks. And even if they do, they're in a really good setup to handle it. They take banana control, rotates coming in. They're in the perfect setup. They're a little late though. The flash is coming in, lurk smoke is in. Rops, now we know Rops is hulls. Trying to come through, tries to spam Bit, doesn't get the kill. Bit spams back, revealing his position. And so now, we're leaving it all under Wonderful. Bit is a non-factor. He smoked off on balcony. Wonderful is the only one that can really do anything. Finds one. Bit still in trouble. Focusing on Rops. He does not care about the people coming up lane. That lurk smoke that Rops threw is helping Bit stay alive. Bit gets the kill on the Rops and he pushes into halls. Remember on pistol round, I mentioned this. Because you can. And just by now being alive, he has hulls. And now think about it. Rain, they get the kill on Moto. They know that the farthest guy, or the closest guy is probably CT or bottom mid. Bit is alive, but they don't have hulls. So at any point after these smokes are gone, Bit will always be able to fight. You can't play Graveyard. You can, I mean, like this spot is pretty much, you can't play it anymore. So lane is a question mark for FaZe, and so is Arch, and now so is hulls. So once the map clears up, you're really going to start to see why that's such a problem. They're trying to spam him. Now remember, I did just say that you can't play Graveyard. You can't do it. The spot's not good because this is a free fight for a bit. So they're in the triangle of death. It's a 3 versus 3. This is a must-win round for FaZe, by the way. They have to win this because they will not be able to pull this comeback off. You cannot convince your team that you can win with 2 rounds, but you can with 3. So Frozen picks a spot and he waits. Bit waiting for his rotations. Smoke's about to fade. Now Bit knows Frozen is in the Graveyard position, or at least he knows he's going to check it. Now, one reveals himself sight. Bit takes this as an opportunity to peek. What did I just say? You can't play Graveyard. You can't because there's no cover. And Bit can decide whenever he wants. He snaps his fingers. Boom. I peek Graveyard. You're dead. Nothing you can do. You have no cover and you cannot time this. You have to focus on lane. You have to focus on somebody coming through the smoke, and you have to focus on halls. It's not a very good spot to pick when you know that there's somebody there. A very big question mark in my opinion. Either way, Frozen loses the fight. Bit applying pressure. This is all because he has stayed alive. Off of the back of Rops' death. All right, Brokey, we knew he was sight. He flashed earlier. He finds one. Now, where's Rain? Big question mark, but he has to be Pit. Because think about it. If they're double sight, they would never win this with him in Graveyard because he would have to look lane and he would have to look halls. Now, I know that seems a little dank, but think about it. Why would he, Frozen, pick a spot where he is responsible for holding 2 things? He wouldn't, which means that somebody's in Pit. Like playing detective. So, because of that, what does Bit do? Checks Pit. He knows he has to be there. He has to be. They know he broke his sight, so he's trying to bait him. Now, because they know Brokey's sight and his teammates aren't up, his teammate isn't up yet, he doesn't want to go out before. He doesn't want to walk out balcony. He's showing his gun, baiting. He wants to get Brokey to shoot at his gun, so that way JL can kill him. And then Rain tries to trade, and then Brit gets the kill. That's what he wants to do right now. Tries to bait. Brokey doesn't fall for the shot, and so JL tries to creep up. Brokey doesn't shoot, and then Rain takes his timing. JL cannot decide. Let's rewind that because it all happened so fast. Again, Bit finds the kill onto Frozen. This all happened quick. I know I was going in slow motion, but this was fast. Jumps, tries to find the shot. Rain doesn't reveal himself. Brokey doesn't shoot, so Bit tries to fight, and off of the back of that, the 2v2 switches into FaZe's favor. Wow. Bit's on 17 kills. And of course, JL, who got major MVP, not for no reason, 15-5. All right. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's looking rough for the boys on FaZe, that's for sure. But we go into this pistol and you're telling them, listen guys, if we get this pistol, we'll be on a roll. No worries. But they should be worried because Bit is on a heater, and so is JL. Jump spotted on the cross, and he wants to make sure, the small detail there, Bit saw Rain cross. So, because there was 2 people, Rain gets spotted on purpose, jumping back. That way, Bit sees one person cross back. He would never expect 2, which means that Robs' position is technically unknown. So if Robs wanted to go for a pick here, he could. I know it's pistol round, but it's a small detail. Again, I don't normally cover pistols, but they are important. All right, in the major final. So we're waiting. We get a default on the pistol because, again, on a must-win pistol, you want to give yourself as many chances as you can, slowly crunching. Remember, now, Rops was this person on his T side. He was responsible for halls. Now Bit, mirror. Now he's playing it. Coming up, remember how Bit was playing against Rops. Rops will be doing the same thing. Doesn't want to die too early. Responsible for both halls and lane here. Rops going to take the fight. Remember, on pistol run, we had an identical situation where Bit was on the balcony and he took the fight to Rops, killed him, and then played his life. This round, Rops wants to do the same thing. Peeks into Bit, and Bit, he wins the fight. And just like that, Rain's on an island. He's just on an island. Nothing you could do. Bit's coming out. Nothing's going to stop him from coming out of halls. He could check everything he wants, but unfortunately, it's already over before the round could even start. And so now we switch. Bit's on CT side again. Wait a minute. We just watched an entire CT side. Yep. He's on CT side again, defending A site from halls. Wow. All right. This is something he's very comfortable with, and he knows that they have to come. So he's going to play here, patiently waiting. All the fights are going to come in. JL will clean it up, and Bit, of course, flanking to ensure the pistol round because he walked all the way from boiler to lane to mid to arch to wrap to secure the round. All right. Unlucky. Tough pill to swallow on FaZe. You lose the pistol, you have to buy, you have to win. And by the way, Kerrigan has no kills. It's looking rough. Here we go. Bit speeding through the halls. Remember, Rops was playing slow. They don't want to do that. They have all the momentum right now. They don't want to give Rops any time to think because Rops is the one person that could shut this game back down. Creeping up. Ema, Bit, walking. The faster bracket play is coming in. Rops, responsible for halls. We'll find the first, but he's not expecting a second because think about it. Rops was playing all his seaside solo. So if Rops would have killed Bit there instead of Ema, he would have pushed and he would have had halls, just like Bit had in all of his CT side where he could play his life and live. Rops wanted to do that, but there was two people here this time. And Bit is still alive. Gets the kill and he comes out halls. Looking for kill. Oh! One of the fastest players that we have. Now, I've seen this demo a few times already, but I'm still impressed every time I see these headshots. Frozen did get a little bit of a whiff there, and that might have had a really big implication if he were to get the kill, but he doesn't, and we will never know. Kerrigan now, alive, alone, and still killless. (11-3). Timeout's called. Last timeout for FaZe. Here we go. Staying alive. They don't want to get caught off by any halls aggression, any alt mid aggression, all the utility getting thrown. Now, unlike FaZe, Bit is actually going to be buddy-buddy with Ema. Why? Well, this is a very unique situation where we know that CTs are probably going to force. And we want to still take halls control. So, we're going to make sure we take it. We're going to go in. We know that they have MP9s, CZs, 5.7s. We're just going to go in and we're going to clear it out. We don't care. And Ema's making noise. Bit, of course, baiting. Forces out this utility. They don't have a lot of that on FaZe. Getting all this stuff out early is important. Now, here we go. Bit, of course, wants to throw that smoke, blow the smoke, rather, to clear halls. And he does. But this is all an illusion. So, let's think about what's happening, right? So, Rops hears two nades. He hears somebody running and the spam. And in the meantime, they're creeping up B. Now, JL is with them. JL is posted CT, and he's trying to get the kill. They are just basically taking aim duels on FaZe because they can. This is an ultimate confidence play. But it's also smart because they have to play 3A because they're being so loud in halls. They have to play 3A. So there's an easy fight at B. Unfortunately, they get shut down. FaZe hit the shot, and now they're forced to group back up and go somewhere. Will they go arch or will they go lane? Tough decision, but most of the time teams will go arch because it's just better for the longer range guns. And here we go. Exactly what we see. Creeping up. Bit taking first lead here. Finds Brokey. Crazy headshot again. Creeping up now, of course, towards Moto. He's very familiar with the spots that Rops is going to want to play. Holding towards Pit. He's looking. Even though he's coming from arch, this is still very much a game of Bit versus Rops because nobody knows where Rops is going to be better than Bit himself. So he checks Pit, checks mini Pit. Another headshot. Are we even surprised at this point? And he gets away, jumps into graveyard. This is as good as done for. But wait! The man himself running in has to make the play. And Kerrigan, oh, his first kill of the game. He might have just turned the tides for FaZe. There's surely no... Okay. Sorry. I love Kerrigan. I love Kerrigan. I don't mean to make fun of him, but how much you could do. Final round. Spoiler alert. FaZe, your time has come. And Bit is the one leading the charge here. 22 for him. And so here we have it. A slower round. This is a round more like how Rops would play. Around how Bit would play. Doesn't want to go in halls. They just did some fast halls stuff. They don't want to go in there again. They know they have the same buy as last round. No point to go in there. No point to play aggressive. Just play to win. And so we will. Banana pressure thrown. Creeping up here. Now off the back of the bracket stuff coming in. Bit will get ready to go to halls. We'll speed it up. They're waiting patiently. Drops his utility. He doesn't need it because where he's going, he won't throw grenades. Nothing to throw from halls. Slowly. Waiting. He knows that there's almost no chance that Rops is playing in here late in the round. It's 30 seconds. He knows that. That's why he comes in late. Think about Bit. Where does Bit go late round? Balcony and Pit. So, late round, he walks up. He knows that there's no world. He's about to win his second major championship. And he's just making all the right decisions. In the meantime, they're coming in through lane. And here we go. The lane hit comes in. Remember, it's not Bit's play to make. He just needs to kill Rops. That's all he needs to do. He's responsible for one man, the guy that plays balcony. That's it. And he's going to do that in one more battle. This entire game has been Bit versus Rops. And Bit, in the final round, steps out one final time. And he takes out Rops. The game started with Bit versus Rops in balcony. And it ended with Bit versus Rops in balcony. That was the kill that cemented the fact that Na'Vi were winning the major. Because now Bit steps out. Doesn't want to overextend. He spots Brokey. Smokes Moto. In the meantime, Alexi B has found his way up Arch. It's over. Brokey, what can you even do? He tries his best. He takes down our hero. But it's already too late. Because Alexi B is up Arch. And as long as he lives, he runs through that smoke. And that's it. And Bit's reaction to this round. He's sitting in his chair. He's giddy. He's like, yes, we did it. He knows he did it because he knows that off of the kill versus Rops that they did it. You could even see it in the replay. I might even play it at the end of this. And that was it. There's nothing you could do. All they need to do is live. And we'll take it from the major MVP's POV for the last round here. What a major final. I really couldn't have come up with any solutions for FaZe here. A dominant performance from Na'Vi. Very big congrats to them. They deserved to win this major. They looked very good. And I very much enjoyed recapping the major, the entire playoffs with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the storytelling aspect of it. I am very passionate about CS, and I'm sure that that kind of shows in these reviews, but that's all I have to say as far as this review goes. As far as the major reviews go, that's going to be it until the next one. I very much appreciate your guys' continuous support throughout this. And we're on to the next. Wow. If you did enjoy, make sure you guys subscribe. We just hit 30K. Much love to you guys. And if you guys want me to do more demo reviews, please let me know what event you want me to do next. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Congrats to Na'Vi.